Do you feel like you have too much stuff in your home and you want to get a handle on your clutter? Or maybe you've got a lot of stuff in storage, you haven't looked at it for years, you're just not sure where to begin. Maybe you're moving home and you're packing, you're downsizing, and you don't know what to do with all of that stuff. If this sounds like you, don't worry, I have just the video for you today. I am going to be talking all about Swedish death cleaning. Consider this like a quick start guide to get started with Swedish death cleaning. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry. I'm going to explain what it is. I'm going to explain how you could benefit from it and what you can do. I really just think of Swedish death cleaning as a lens to look at my stuff, and you'll see what I mean as I kind of go through today. But if you're looking for something to help you with this clutter, I really think this video is going to be your answer. Swedish death cleaning, or dostädning as it is known in Sweden, is getting rid of the items in your home now so that your loved ones won't have to be burdened with getting rid of it later when you're gone. Maybe it's a little bit morbid. I don't think it is. I honestly think it's a really good lens with which to look at your stuff. In the book, The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, the author, Margareta Magnusson, talks about when to get started, how to get started. She actually encourages people to do Swedish death cleaning at 65. A lot of people in the US, though, get started in their 50s. I'm in my 40s and I have already done it. I have had great results with it. I mean, because honestly, if you think about it, you get so many good benefits from decluttering. So why wait until you're older to reap those benefits? Why not start now? I've been decluttering and Swedish death cleaning my attic and my basement. I have made a ton of progress. I still have more to go, but Swedish death cleaning has really helped me. The author of the book suggests that if you're going to start Swedish death cleaning, the first place you should start is your closet. I think this makes sense because we all have way too many clothes, right? Like lots of clothing, lots of clothes that we're not wearing. I think too, like clothing is less apt to be sentimental, so it's a lot easier to declutter. And you don't want to start with sentimental items. That's another rule with Swedish death cleaning. You kind of want to start easy and work your way up. So sentimental items will come later. You can start with your clothing because that's essentially not going to take a mental toll on you. What she encourages you to do when you're decluttering your wardrobe is to look at your wardrobe as a whole. So actually like step back from your closet and look at the clothes that you see and kind of look at them in terms of like colors and fabrics, and really give this holistic view into your clothing and decide, like, does this clothing still fit in with the person that I am today? I used to wear like lots of really brightly colored clothing, and I've noticed I've started kind of toning it down. However, at one point when I looked at my closet, it was full of all of this brightly colored clothing that I'm just not gravitating towards anymore, and I'm just no longer wearing. You kind of want to think about, like, does your wardrobe represent who you are? Does it represent what you do? You know, are you going into an office? Are you working from home? Are you retired? Where are you in life? And if you look at your clothing as a whole, does it represent what that lifestyle is? For me, I am going into an office, but not as much. So I need to have a mix of office clothing and then more casual clothing. I'm also no longer wearing heels. I'm not going to fancy dress parties. So seeing like sequins and heels in my closet at this point, I can say to myself, well, these things can go. I did a closet clean out about 1.5 years ago, and I donated 50% of my closet. It was amazing. I will link the video as a card if you want to go ahead and watch it after this video, but it really felt good to cull down my wardrobe and really free up that space in my closet. So start easy, and now let's build up. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. It is free, and I make videos twice a week. The next thing that she recommends in the book is to go, the next like easiest step is to declutter by size. And so you can kind of look and find large things in your home, furniture, sofas, maybe like larger rugs, larger pieces of artwork. Really just figure out like what are the big things that you want to declutter and then make those decisions. And then once you've started with the larger things, kind of work your way down to things that could go in a box. Some people like to do like room by room. So they'll completely do their kitchen, they'll completely do their bedroom, or another way that you can do this, and this is actually in Marie Kondo, you can go by category. So maybe you want to start with artwork as a category and then move on to books as a category, because a lot of times you might have these things stored throughout your home. So maybe you just go by category rather than room by room, whichever is easier for you. I personally, when I did Swedish death cleaning, started with my attic and my basement, and that's because that is where I had the most stuff stored. Moving my clutter around my home, I was moving clutter up into the attic. I'd be like, oh, I decluttered the kitchen, but then all the clutter would be up in the attic. So I started with the attic, and that was just an easy place for me to kind of remove a lot of that clutter from my home. And remember, as you're doing this, we are looking at the stuff with the lens of, will anyone want this after I'm gone? That is how we were thinking of each thing that we're donating. I want you to have a high standard for what you choose to surround yourself. Let's raise our standards. We do not need to surround ourselves with clutter and junk. It's not doing us any favors. It's not making us feel good about ourselves. And really think about, like, if I'm not using this item and maybe nobody will want it after I'm gone, why am I hanging on to it? On to a step here now that I feel like not enough people are talking about, but it is actively working to buy less, or think about bring less into your home. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy anything, but I am saying if you're working hard to declutter and then you're just replacing that clutter with more stuff coming into your home, it's going to be a never-ending process. You will never get on top of your clutter because you will have to declutter every day, all the time. I mean, I'm not interested in decluttering for the rest of my life. I want to get rid of my clutter, get a handle on it, and then I'm going to be very picky about what I bring into the home. At this point, when I buy things, I am like agonizing over it. I'm like generally waiting 72 hours before I make any purchases just to make sure, like, do I want this in the house? When you're thinking about Swedish death cleaning, you want to think how long this is going to take you. And you know, everybody has a different timeline for their clutter. Some people want to get it done in a week or two, and maybe that's realistic for the amount of stuff you have. Other people, I mean, we didn't become cluttered overnight. It may take a while to get uncluttered. It may take a year or more, and that's fine too. Just figure out like what you're comfortable with, how much time you have, and that will dictate how long this will take you. As your Swedish death cleaning, tell your family that you're doing it. First of all, you've got stuff that you want to pass down to them and you want to save to them. And maybe if they know that you're doing this, they'll say to you, hey, you've got this teacup set from Grandpa. Can I have it? And maybe you don't even remember that you've got the teacup set, or maybe you don't care about the teacup set. You can give it to them now so that you can enjoy giving it to them while they're alive. So really think about like letting your family know. If you've got things that you're thinking of decluttering, call them, call your sister. Hey, I've got this. Do you want it? Because if not, I'm going to give it to so-and-so. I'm going to declutter it. You know, make sure that they know that you're doing it. And then that way you can decide where you want things to go. I also think that telling your family keeps you accountable. So they know you're doing it. They can check in on your progress and you feel like you've got that little personal responsibility or accountability going on. I also like to keep a memory box for myself. This is like also a part of Swedish death cleaning, and you just make a box, whatever fits in that box, that is yours. Those are your memories. I also like to keep boxes for my kids, things that I want to pass down to them. I want to make sure that I'm separating the things that I want to pass down to them and save for them from the other things that could be perceived as junk by someone else. You know, you don't want to mix it all together. You want to make sure that it's labeled. And then in thinking about like where else your stuff should go, if you're not passing it down to friends and family, you could donate it. I also maybe like to give things as gifts. If you've got things, maybe you even find like unopened things or unused things. Maybe you find antiques, you know, different things that you want to give as gifts, or maybe you could sell it. There's definitely like different places where you could sell some of these items. You could do a clothing swap with your friends, you know, all kinds of ideas. Some things may just need to be tossed in the garbage. You just have to decide as you're going through these things where they should go. Okay, guys, that is the quick start guide to Swedish death cleaning. I hope it was helpful for you. I have a whole playlist on Swedish death cleaning. I am going to link it right here. Go ahead and click on it and I will see you over there. Bye-bye.